Yes, but I sit in that cozy air conditioned office. You see the car I came in? But it's not because of me, it's because of the soldier, the one that's staying at the gate. Like them men who gotta know what I'm doing and what I'm the credit goes to them. The sailors, the airmen, and the soldier, they are the one that are doing the work. And we're not just doing it because of that. You know why it's like that? It's because of you. It's the support we are receiving from you. It's not possible. And I will tell you, both former Madam Sally and our former president, they are both supporting the military. When Madam Sally was there, she did it. You saw the restructure program. Now we have President Weah. And you see the way how we're moving. We have increased our size even there. So I will refer you, go back and read those. But what we need to do is the willpower of the that for every time there's some challenges we face, we have to be able to prosecute those that are violent, especially personnel of the AFL. The treatment of you, because we are there to protect citizens, which is the POC. So you see our engineering people around. Every day I receive calls saying my engineering unit is at here. They're doing the pedestrian walk or sidewalk. We have our way, the Ghana Bay Somalia Drive, Jacotown, Nizo, Keba, just name it. We will always hire our engineer to have that. So those are things that we're doing. And the big one are coming up. Everybody was talking about the issue of COVID. When the president built a hospital, 40 military hospital. Based on the location, a lot of people criticize it. But when COVID came, just imagine we never had that facility. They were going to carry people that were going to contaminate the places at JFK. Because there was no facility to host people who are affected. But we're seeing the essence and the importance of the 14 military hospital today that we are benefiting. So that in itself is a will that we are using defense. That today the confidence is there. Confidence is there. I'm going to take a question. Yeah, no, there are plenty of questions here that people will ask, so we'll talk. The last, from the perspective of budgetary support and the availability of logistics, what are the prospects and challenges of the AFL? I will tell you, the question for everybody here, about a lot of 500+ million. With a lot of restrictions. I know you're the financial people that are not my area. I'm a politician. But when I see this press, there are a lot of demands on this press, just like us, the military. And looking at our history, we don't want to repeat those things that will bring our country to a civil war. So I will tell you there are challenges when it comes to logistics, especially when it comes to the issue of accommodation. You know, it was the US government, ECOWAS, renovating our barracks that we are located in. Today, I can simply say to you to tell you that again, we have submitted a budget that the next year that will to recruit, because we need a recruit. We need a recruit. But we cannot recruit if we don't have accommodation for those newcomers. Because according to the latest survey, it says an average Liberian household is about 6.9. You know, you can say human being 3.9. So that you take 6. And if you take a soldier and recruit him to come to the military, at least based on his age, you have like 2 children. Then because he comes to the military and the family know the military will give him accommodation, guess what? One of the parents will come live to him and I found already. Then sometimes the brother and sister children say, hey, go live with your brother. That they are discussing with both committees from the upper house as the Senate and the Senate. I think at the time anyway, Senator Ruby lost his seat. He was the chairman. I know there's a new round for elections or for new appointment of position when they return in January. And who will be the chairman will definitely visit our chairman and be able to lay our own framework that when they are discussing the budget, you see how best there they can have something there for us. So we already got like a framework or guidelines or plan how to mitigate some of these challenges with short or limited budget. We also look at the issue of how we have changed our force, the way you used to call Light infantry. Light infantry, those are you in the security background, like, oh, who the fuck were all full. You know, to grab a troop. No. This time, we have transitioned our troop now, our forces from what we call motorized. So we're fighting all week because technology has improved. Nobody now walking, they make you exhausted before you reach. So now, I tell you when people talk, oh, can I tell whether you are or you formal days, you want to, I'll just be sleeping in my house because I know when we come outside for you, we say you won't bring war and we come for you, we will get you. We fighting all week, what we call motorized. Meaning now, we get ABCs and things and those of you who know when ABC comes, depending on where you use it, that kind of APC will carry for. It's I'm a personal carrier. So we have changed that to see how we can mitigate on the issue of logistics. We also got in the budget because the U.S. government, ECOWAS, have always been supporting us in that drive. And I will tell you there's an issue of how can we operationalize these are challenges. I will tell you with limited budget, limited logistics. We are positioned strategically. So to close to take my seat, like I started the first question I told you, that indeed the frameworks we have in order for external or internal threat. How? For internal, we got the joint security, we are part of them. That is the police go first. As first responder, if they can't handle the situation, they call them, we come in. And sometimes we support them. When you look at it bilaterally, we got individuals that we have MOU with, Ivory Coast, Guinea, and Sierra Leone. In the ECOWAS framework, which is a bigger one, we also have the ECOWAS, and then you go to a bigger one, the UN, like we're doing. Natural and large generations to spread and come to West Africa. We are there. I also will drill you through our second question that you have in the tier, telling you what are some of those, especially when it comes to budget. But before I take my seat and we start to take questions, I want to say thank you so much for the support. And it's all because of people like you, SEAL, that provide support that we are able to do. To our Commander-in-Chief, the Minister of Defense, and all the men and women in arms, I want to say thank you, and I will now entertain questions. For this part, which I want us to relax and have a dialogue, I will beg your indulgence, please. I will take a seat and I can talk with Daniel and we'll discuss. And I think that will be better in discussing such things. Huh? Thank you.
Gentlemen, this is unlike. Even like you spoke about bilateral agreement in Sierra Leone, like you spoke about, I'm not too sure as to whether they have such gatherings where we can make use of our constitutional provision so as to invite government functionaries to provide us such sensitive information as it relates to the full march of our society. But mind you, it is part of your right to know. It's also ensuring the Constitution. And that the Chief of Staff did well by discussing the three questions, providing our answers with adequacy as best, to the best of his recollection and his research. He did extremely well. As it relates to external and internal aggressions, the army is fully ready. And sometimes I get panic. And for him, he's not really panic because he knows what is within him, what is in his arsenal, and the strength of his men. You know, but I get panic sometimes when I hear about the veteran, how you call them? The veteran bureau. This banner here. The men, I'm not political men, I'm like, Shiva, get on the radio, we assemble 5,000 men. Oh, you can. I think they were disbanded somewhere around 2000, yeah? That number can change. I don't know whether they're dying or what. They just get on the radio, they talk big things. You know, someone somewhere, they're all over the place talking so many big things. I mean, they're not really moved, but sometimes, Chief, it embarrasses us a lot. We see that sometimes as abuse of the airway. Because the media is very powerful, that they are here now. What you are saying, and there are those who are following, especially the social media. And when it's also playing on our wavelength, the borough of Nickel Town from, I mean, the other counties, Bapole, the other places, they'll say they got it ready again. I mean, that could be one of our concerns. What mechanism you have to also contain those guys in terms of this, there are random expressions every time in the corridor. So you spoke about internal and external aggression, the military is ready. And that when the police fails, when he's coming out, he's not coming to give you sandwich. No, don't think about it. The police did well for some of the guys the last time when they're protesting, right? They give them, don't come in contact with any of them when you get away with him. You will feel the weight. So he spoke about it, he also spoke about the issue of logistics. And we all know the challenges, honestly speaking. And he has just testified to that the forest is not really huge. It has so many constraints. And as part of our job, I still can also tell you that we engage the national government, especially the legislature. The guys that are coming, but we see them come with that exuberance and all of that, because the military security apparatus, they are very important to our security. They must be empowered budgetarily, logistically. How will you go? The last time I think it was one holiday, and I was somewhere before that celebration happened. I was around the LV belt, and it was on a Sunday. Something happened around with one of my relatives. I'm looking around to see a police officer that will arrest the situation. Nobody. So, Chief, as far as our concern, recruitment. Yeah, because we say the police boss is not here, but we are discussing. But we also advocate, we join the advocacy so that the legislature and the executive see the need to add up to what they have as part of their plans for implementation. Then we also cast concern as it relates to the size at conventional level, which he also addressed, concerning the size of Liberia and all of that. He also spoke about it. So you have the questions now on the basis of what he said. So Mr. Moderator, you will no comment as well, but do all in just 30 seconds. We don't have many hands. Do all in just 30 seconds. So you start like that, the three quadrant, from here, here, and here. So I will ask the chief of staff, so how many questions you can take?
Thank you so much, MS.
Questions, and we'll start to the chief of staff of Liberia.
I'm Jim Bosco, I'm a senior general for your expose. Now I want to ask this question. Doing your recruitment, you think people like us, with our age and experience, we have area to fit in the military? Because at times when I ask, they say no, we cannot take anybody above 35. So whether you can accept people like us in the military?
Internally and externally. I think there's an issue in Grange there that people have been raising those concerns since 2016. That Burkinabes have been through into Liberia. They said they are farmers and they are scaring our local farmers there. They are scaring people within the rural villages in the height of illegal farming. So I think everybody have been listening to such a concern. What is the military, input on that issue? Thank you very much.
So I think the last one, then the general response. So what are Liberia? Let's come so. Then the general response. What's that?
Lofa, 4 years precise. I'm overwhelmed with the deliberation of our chief of staff. Yesterday the area, from the time of the forming of the area, from the militias to the frontier force, at the time, when the people that don't have education, they were in the force. But listen to the profile of our chief of staff. It tells me that the area is an entity. It's a unit to respect. Let's talk about the military preparation of the area in Liberia, like any other soldier in the world. I am satisfied with the area. I want to recommend to you General Prince C. Johnson, if I'm correct. I want you to recommend to every county that your area soldier should give their expertise to the classroom to encourage young men to have interest in the area, more especially the public schools. I am a pastor and also a teacher, and I have passion in education. Today, I'm happy with the area, with your achievement. Thank you.
Thank you so much. General, you can respond to the question.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's start with T. Washington Checker, recognition. So his question is the issue of whether those areas we are assigned in, whether we should allow our members or personnel to be in the classroom, whether secondary or university level. Yes, indeed, we are doing that. We got a couple of guys here, so we're not getting anything, but we just to build the educated population. The second question was Liba Felix. Liba asked concerning the Burkina Beach that we got in Nigeria. I don't know whether you can remember in 2017, we arrested because the same problem came about, and we were asked in the Leo Temple era, that is Nigeria and Ivory Coast, and we went there. We arrested close to, I think, 19 Burkina Beach, 19 Ivorian, I think 1 Burkina Beach at the time, and that was based on procedures in order for the military to get into such a mission. The county authority, like I know, need to express that through the Ministry of Justice, and then the Minister of Justice will inform the National Security Council, looking at the threat that is involved or the expansion of the Burkina Beach farmer, and with that, they can inform the Minister of Defense, and that's when we can get it. We'll not just jump up, and say let's go. But I think the problem in Nigeria, when we went there, the experience we saw. There are some people, some of our citizens from Nigeria, who are bringing in this Burkina Beach and telling them, say, if you win this land, maybe this acre, you can take this one or you can do this. So the county authority, the first thing, the local government need to be able to caution ties, because they are seeing just the issue of farming, but they are not looking at the future prospect of these guys coming. Because, anyway, there are a lot of things that maybe I can say because all classified things for this kind of work. I don't need declassify some of them, but we are working on it. We are monitoring the situation there. But for now, the local authority need to approach that issue, going through what I just said. And then we have my own brother, Bosco Hammer, who asked about recruitment and the issue of age. Yes, we got age limit 5. That's a lot. We can adopt professional people like lawyers, doctors who pass that age. When I mean adopt, we can tap on your expertise. Like now we're about to open a hospital. We are looking for medical doctors. So even if you pass, you even like 50 years old, we can adopt you, carry you, train you, because you know that 3 things, you gotta learn how to shoot, communicate, and be able to navigate. So we tell you for a short time, do the training, show you how to work and stuff, and then we start you up with a captain. Your officer right away, because you come in with the expertise. So we bring you in. So with the experience and your age, we are targeting lawyers now, we are targeting engineers, we are targeting medical doctors. If we need you to come, sometimes it's not because of the money. A lot of us here left our job. We have good job. I work for you, I left to go to the AFL. Today now I will tell you I'm not a hustler again, because why I get? I will be understanding. Sometimes don't put money too much at the first preference of your career. If you put money, I say it will drive you to a lot of things. I knew some of my friends who went to the banking sector. They were tempted in the banking sector today. They can't find a job because they were accused of something. 10 guys more went to the military, though it started small, and today see. I'm an accountant. I went to the military to go in the controller section. I never thought I was going to be an infantryman. What the Americans saw, and like say, look, my man, you're a leader, you're going to be an infantryman. I did not know that. And today I'm sitting in the seat. So, a lot of young people here, I tell them, please, don't put money first. Come and serve your country. This man has 2 masters. He just graduated from the U.S. War College in Pennsylvania. College. This man, and he's my military assistant. 2 masters, I will tell you, the officer called, you will find that about 60% already got graduate degree. So we no more got a Noko thing, used to talk about Noko. He went to Mali. He went to Mali. He got peacekeeping experience. Just how you used to see the UN people here for doing things, make our country peaceful. He just for doing it.
His name?
Murphy. Colonel Murphy, he's the military assistant in my office. So all the fun things you see here, I say, he got to prepare them for me to do it because I was born at his age, at this level, at this, so now I just relax. So all you see me saying that he work, he got to do it. So what I'm trying to say, I'm not bragging, but I stay in the town, I stay in the Morocco. I went down there, I drank Hatta there, I came here. Today I'm only here because of my education. I'm begging nobody for the job. Everybody that tells you I want somebody over to go pay the lab. And you know what will prepare me for my next job is my character. Yes. It's my character. I'm prepared now. No, anytime the president you want me to tell me to go, I'm going to find another job. So I don't want to beg nobody. That's why I'm not a politician. I will tell you, I'm not. And I will tell you, I don't vote for president. 2017, I didn't vote for any president. The reason is simple. Let me share my experience. 2011, I was not even in the country. When I was in the USC school at the General Command Staff College, I managed to listen to General Petraeus. At the time, he was the CIA boss, so he came from the military one of the successful US general. And he told, as he ascended in his military career, he decided not to vote Republican or Democrat. The reason was simple, because he will always have the opportunity of briefing the president-elect or the president. So he did not want to cast a ballot for somebody and he be briefing somebody else. The conscience will not serve him fine. I took that for him. As I ascended in my military career, 2011, I didn't vote for no president. 2017, I didn't vote for no president. My loyalty is to the Constitution of Liberia. And the commander-in-chief is in the chain of command. For my training I've gotten, I have experience from every past regime that I know how to handle when an illegal order is given by a politician. And I'm there to identify the breaks and tell my commander-in-chief, Chief, it's better we take course of action B than course of action A. And I tell him the risks associated with what you want me to do. That is very crucial in leadership. Yes. It is the willpower to face your commander and tell him what is the right thing to do. Because that's my profession. The US government, your taxpayers spend plenty of money. The school I went to was in the hundreds of thousands that they pay for me to go to school in America. I will not come back here and not be able to tell my boss what is the risks associated with the action you want to take. And then I will recommend the USA, sir, let's do it. And that's why this commander-in-chief guy I love him, because when it comes to military, we make the decision. We make the decision and advising when it comes to our area because we are trained and expert in the area. Let's take the next question.
Yes, sir.
Next badge of concern. Yeah, we'll come to the media. We'll conclude with the media, please. Please be patient. We'll conclude with the media.
People are seeing that all the time. You don't get the people that train and have questions.
We will conclude with the media, please. Let's take it, Parliament. I'll come to you.
Thank you, the General. My name is Terry Chiwell, member of this institution. At one of my class at the AMEU, one professor made me to understand that the way sometimes you, the teacher, you present your code, we encourage students to venture into that.
Yes.
And your presentations here, in my understanding, have just brought that thought to me. That your presentations.
No, it won't not.
Your presentation will encourage young persons who have ambitions to join the army. Finally, my recommendations. I had the opportunity to travel to Kenya to interact with the chief of staff. And it made me to honestly say one of the things that can make army very successful when an army officer live in a township of West Point, for instance, they learn to make friends. Before anything enter West Point, those very people that live around them will give you information. So let our army learn to live with us like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So let's go back on the side. Yeah, my brother, let's
Hello, I'm Elijah Wadil, concerned citizen and member of CO. I will say thank you to my chief of staff of Liberia for the well taking the time to extend to sit down and discuss issues concerning our security. I had a question for him, question and recommendation. My question is first, we're looking at Sierra Leone and Guinea. We both passed through a civil crisis. And then I remember in the 80s, told my brother one of the key areas that has a military barrier. And that area was very protected and safe. What are the mechanisms are you putting in place to make sure the southwestern, more precise, bombing country be safe from other terror act? My recommendation. If so, I ask you as a chief of staff of Liberia, to pay a special visit to the Southwestern to see how well to put the security system in there to be well. Because I understand when they say police coming, people not afraid. But when they say soldier men is coming, people they're in a share. So if you do that, make your area be like your visiting area and get to talk to the people that at least it will be fun. Secret in the country will come out. Thank you.
My name is Yokonde Leo Kenneth, commonly known as the voice of reasoning. I never went to school, I never went to university, I never went to college. All what I learned is from newspaper, television, and radio. So from these three things, I'd like to ask you an important question, Mr. Chief of Staff. And that has to do with internal security. As a member of the joint security, what are you doing, what have you done to curtail the petty crimes that is happening, such as armed robbery, from the top hills of Mama Point to the shores of Nukutown, to the mangrove swamp of Princeville, and to the tiny dark highway of Rawa International Airport, where our people are crying on radio every day. They're being attacked by armed robbers. They're being duped or stabbed by other people. These are things that have a propensity to derail the peace and security of a nation. So you as a chief of staff and member of the joint security forces of Liberia, what have you done in order to stop it? Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll come back.
You know, my brother, that's a good question. Before I even answer the question, I will lay this premise for you. Again, if you read the TRC report, what we have learned that today the armed forces of Liberia are considered a warring faction or committed what they did. The fact was, the government at the time was using the military to perform the functions of other paramilitary duties. I give you two examples. One, the 1980 University of Liberia raid. The students protested. They went for the military people. You heard what happened. They went up beating up students. When in fact, the police, they had the police there. Another one, there's a building I got, an old building in my compound in BGC called Post Stacking. You know, Post Stacking used to be a prison compound that used to host surveillance politicians. Every time they arrest politicians, they take them to Post Stacking. And under our law, or surveillance, I cannot arrest any surveillance here. If I arrest you, I'm going to turn you over to the police. I can't take you to my barracks and confine you. It's illegal. Those were mistakes that were made by former government that we don't want to do. For petty crime, I don't know at which level it has gone that the military would now have to come in. I don't see that yet. The police have not requested support. Even if the police request support, we will have to analyze the advantages and disadvantages. Please, we don't want to misuse the military for those kind of things that will create havoc and will go back. So we got to learn from our experience in there. So if the police are overwhelmed when it comes to armed robbery and other activities, that's where we'll come. But I will remain in my barracks. I don't want to come up with that. No, I would not want to come because that's the police. Let the police handle that issue when it comes to petty crime, armed robbery, and activities. And the police can do it. The police can do it. They just need to be supported. They need to see how best they can have them. The other question on the issue of Sierra Leone and Guinea. The presidency bombing. You know, in strategy, they got something called end state. The goal, the objective. They got ways. That is the policy you're going to put together, and you got means, the resources to do it. What we are doing when it comes to Sierra Leone and Guinea, we have analyzed those areas and looking at the cooperation that I told you about, the MOU that I told you about. I tell you, sometimes the Guinean Chief of Defense Staff can call me and say, look, I'm noticing this and this. When we had an issue in during the Sierra Leone election, the former CS, Chief of Staff, there was an issue of rumors that came in the air that because at the time we had our former interim president, Amos Sawyer, was there chairing, I think the election was doing something there. And there was an issue, rumors that came in that the Liberian embassy had been attacked allegedly All day, I just pick up my phone and call the chief of staff, and he told me, say, sir, no, there's nothing like that. I'm simply giving these examples to tell you the relationship that exists between the two militaries and the two bosses. Years back, those are things that did not happen. So the lesson learned is to always be, I got Nigerian, I got Sierra Leonean, I got Ivorian in my headquarters as liaison. So everything they're doing on the side, if I hear anything, I call it liaison. Look, so and he tell me, say, I will get back to you. And so that's the kind of relationship we have built up. Now when people talk, I can just tell people, let me tell you a simple scenario. It's not possible for anybody to bring war in this country without the support of one of the neighboring countries. Because you will always need an exit route or route for logistics support and all the things. So with the cooperation that I see now, I think you will fly in, and when you fly in, we'll get you. So I'm saying this to say that the analysis is that we have to build that relationship with our neighbors. I'm not saying that 100% nothing can happen in this country. Honestly, even the sophisticated country, the US, you still heard what they got just there in Tennessee. So I'm not saying that we are 100% safe, no. But you may have isolated cases. You may have maybe people who will be radicalized, you know. But the best way we can secure our border with Sierra Leone and Guinea is the collaboration between the two countries, like the MOU we have, the talking that we always have, and we are doing that. The first question was on the recommendation. You said we should live in the community and military relation. Like, we should, when we are residing in the community, it's like the way we conduct ourselves and people. It's working. I'll give you one scenario. You remember there was an incident in the Bombing side, around Bombing Hills, where people went to make movie and people saw bullets all around. You know how we got that information? There was a scene surveillance. Like I said, like people, we are fatigued. Fatigued when it comes to the issue of war. No matter what war in the country, anybody the information will come for you. What we should worry about, like we said, is the issue of these young people that some politicians try to militarize. I would say that. We saw that during the election. We saw the way both opposition and ruling party people, the way they were dressing. You know, military when you wear boots, you put barrel, even the name and style. Those name and style was like you use the brigade. When I was coming up, I got that from UNU. I know student politics. Student politics, they say themselves as the representative of the faculty senate. At the time we had Dr. Bailey, Reverend Dr. Bailey at the Methodist University. We were very careful of words to use during that time. You know the reason? It was simple because if you read during the 80s, when you need the organizational movement, you get movement in. You got things like liberation. During our time, it was always people get it. So people decide when we were coming, we decided not to name our organization. But I'm seeing it repeat. Because those names were always associated with radical groups that we sometimes blame. We got to be careful and read our history to be able to move forward. We got to be careful in names. The names will give you. You said militant brigade. What do you call militant brigade? Or militant wing. You army man, but are you soldier? People don't understand the issue of regimentation. In the army, we got discipline. We are controlled by what you call the UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice. To these political parties, the guidance structure when it comes to discipline, how to prosecute people that will violate. So the expectation, and I see that coming to be a problem because most of these politicians that brought these young people, militarize them to control the expectation after the election. Now we are seeing the election result. You were feeding them. You are giving them scratch card to call, radio and talk. You are giving them scratch card or unit to talk on social media. You get them, you pay the rent. Now some of you did not win the election. They will still come to your house. How will you feed them? You got to be able to manage the expectation. So we started this as a caveat that, look, you can form other names. Please, when you're not part of the military, please avoid the issue of militarizing young people without an institution that's supposed to do that. And that's something that we need to discuss. We need to discuss it. It's serious.
So much. Let's have fun. So the media, let's come to the media. Let's take a few concerns from the media. Yeah, I will conclude with the meeting in the video. Let's come to the media.
How you doing again? I got shots big cocoa. And in the open manner, I want to say, my big brother and friend, thank you. This is a person who came from a very long road. Even in a room, we used to go scatter everything. Go eat the food. Sometime back, he established a group called Pijapi. And I openly saying this, in every member of that group today, they are permanent and many people in society. The same person. The Nimale PSC, the Eddie Watson, all that in Ghana, the leading actors in Nigeria and all. And by then, I was a captain and midfielder for that team. And so for many of us, we are not surprised today. And thank you for that mentorship. Some of us, we're doing everything that will make you proud from where we came from. And my only questions have to do with local content. Iman Food and what I love most. About producing the army uniform like other countries around there doing now. Guinea, Ghana.
You read that? Yeah. From what institution? Okay, let's go to the back there. Yeah, I'm going to back there.
My name is Michael Dixon. Let me admit, I'm so proud of you. Rebuilding our country, both economy-wise and security-wise. So there is no country without good economic growth and you don't have good security. So one thing again I want to know, what role are you playing in order to sensitize those young generation are coming to various schools? Because we understand that during those days, ROTC was being taught in most of the schools. But now we have seen that ROTC is leaving for those primary and secondary schools, but they are only being taught in universities. What role are you playing in order to dialogue with the Ministry of Education to institute this measure? And also, you talk about militancy. To educate those militant groups that have been in those various universities and other things to mold their mind. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Give it back to the brother.
Okay, my name is Walter Kelsoro from the Material Pacific Roughing area. I want to ask for Europe. On the former AFL, the OA on the street, formally. Then we get Federal Bureau, and they're always supporting it. One mentality we have to put into place to stop the business. The second one, you know, the military is a good organization. During the eras of President Joe, we had a scope defense invader. He had died down. What kind of mentality?
Where you from? One of Liberia? Yeah, one of Liberia.
Yeah, thank you so much. Brother Johnson, I'd love to ask you, during the regime of former President Joseph Salim, Liberians are aware that a recruitment process was being exercised. and that was never brought to the Liberian people to a conclusion. Would you mind informing the people what exactly went on and you spoke about another recruitment process?
Mira.
The issue about recruitment, all that I know, recruitment process that went on, we went through that process, and we recruited the 8 batch. We got the 8 batch 7 and 8 there. I remember there was a time that we started the process, and then because insufficient funding when it comes to the budget, those guys, like we encountered a couple of them that we went to call, so we told them, hopefully, with the discussion we're currently having with the members of the legislature and the executive, the Minister of Defense, the Commander-in-Chief, that our fiscal year between 20 and then we have to go back to re-vetting because people have changed their address, their location, all this stuff. So now we hear, see, you call the speaker, call the chairman of defense, in the lower house representative, the upper house, call them, let it talk and let talk for us. Tell you, you need to give the military the issue of budget to be able to recruit next year. Tell them we're already engaged in them, we're negotiating with them, we're talking to them, and we're hoping that we will get something on that. Concerning the issue of sports, the old area that they have the defense, yes, we do have our defense guardian. They are now in the 2nd division, but again, because of some financial issues, of giving credit that today, we have to recruited under President Taylor, I would say. They are currently receiving a pension. They are currently receiving a pension because when you are inactive, you go on government payroll as a pension, your retirement benefit, you start getting there. So you also get irregular. Those are the people that were demobilized. You remember? Did the resettlement, all of things that went, that they did. Those were the rebel groups. So now everybody who are inactive that are considered regular should be on a Veteran Bureau. And Veteran Bureau work with the Minister of Defense. I serve on the board. The minister is the chair on the board of Veteran Affairs. So what we're doing now, you have a new leader called Guthrie. He's the head of the Veteran Bureau. So everything should be channeled through the Veteran Bureau to go there. Like somebody was talking about ROTC. In order to give our veteran job, because the active duty, we are so concerned in our number. Now we have veterans who are conducting these ROTC programs in secondary schools. Just for them to be able to do something. We just appointed a new Minister of Defense for Operation. He's trying to help the issue of how we can work with the Agriculture Minister, because they have an agriculture program in the Veteran Bureau, to see how we can engage them. Because all around the world, even the great United States, we've got to find something for us active duty when we leave service to be able to do work. So we're trying to have that, like the ROTC program that the currently working on. The agriculture will soon be coming. So what we need to do, all of us need to go on a Veteran Bureau, and we'll have one Veteran Bureau that will be the one to channel everything to go through that process. So that is what the Minister of Defense is currently doing. Oh, the uniform. Oh, okay, the issue of uniform. Yeah, the issue of uniform, that's a fun program. We buy this stuff for companies from like the US, from Asia and stuff. If we have a vendor here, like somebody is trying to write to get that program, the money we use to buy uniform outside, we can definitely pump it into our economy. Meaning, if we have a business here, you just need to contact the Minister of Defense. There's a procedure if you already have a business. You go through that program, we'll be happy. Because the cost will definitely drop. The money will go back right to Liberians, our tailor union here or what, and we'll be able to help boost our economy. So if we have that program where somebody will come up with like uniform, it's also too, we have to do a lot of classification, security classification, that you have to have authorization through the Ministry of Justice. If we go through that procedure, it will be easy. And we'll definitely consider you to buy. Because every year, we should issue one set of uniforms to our personnel. So if that is a program somebody want to get engaged in, I think we'll definitely be able to support the program.
Thank you very much.